Thank you all for attending. This is the IT Process Automation Challenge webinar, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me just going on the presentation here. Okay, my name is Guy Nadivi. I'm the Business Development Manager for IAHU Software, and I'm joined today by Yaron Levy, our CTO. And we're going to do a bit of a deeper dive for you on what IT process automation is and what its benefits are, and how it can benefit your organization. So a little bit about us. IAHU is, not surprisingly, a leading innovator of IT process automation software. We were founded 6 years ago, and we are headquartered in New Jersey now. And the origin of the tool that we have was born from real need. Necessity is the mother of invention, as they say, and that was certainly true in our case, where our IT process automation tool was built to address some real needs. The first commercial version of the product was launched in 2009, and we most recently delivered version 4.5 product, and a lot of functionality in the latest version that we're going to tell you all about. We have a brief and very focused agenda for you today. First, we're going to talk about what IT process automation is. We're going to discuss the benefits of it, what you can do with it, and if you're thinking about it, how to plan for it, how to evaluate automation tools, also how to calculate the ROI from IT process automation. We're going to compare a little bit between IT process automation and scripting, which is what a lot of people use now to do what IT process automation can do much better. And we're going to talk about some good candidates for automation, a success story, and what it takes to succeed with IT process automation, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into a demo. So, for the first item, what is IT process automation? Historically, from the mainframe world, it was better known as runbook automation. In definition, run automation and IT process automation are probably the same thing, the only difference being when they run. So a runbook automation is scheduled to run at a specific time, and IT process automation is a response to an incident that can occur at any time. So the only difference is in the scheduling. One runs at predetermined times, the other one runs at any time. Runbook automation and IT process automation are identical. And both are primarily used in data centers and network operation centers. The primary reason is to improve IT operational efficiency. There's just an explosion of servers and devices and things that need to be maintained, and as those grow, there's only so much labor available, qualified labor, that can use that infrastructure, and ultimately, we believe, the only way to keep up with that explosion in infrastructure is through automation. And about or keeping up with the demand is also about doing a better job of the services that are provided to that infrastructure. IT process automation is much better at provisioning than the manual alternative. And we believe it's also much better in a reduction of mean time to repair. The time between when an incident occurs and when it gets resolved, if you look at the difference between how long it takes to do that manually versus through automation, it's very significant. And that kind of leads us to what are the benefits of IT process automation, and there are many. They basically boil down to these three. A significant reduction in human errors. When something is automated, it runs the same way every time. So if you've got a standard operating procedure that you want followed in resolving issues, automation ensures that that procedure is run precisely the same way every time. Sometimes with human errors, that prevents that being having that level of consistency. Of course, an automated tool is going to be able to respond much faster than people can, and that's most critical when it comes to certain mission-critical systems. Even something mission-critical, even if it's something just routine, just some of the kind of standard maintenance tasks that need to be undertaken just to keep things running smoothly. Being able to automate those things, free up your personnel, do other more important things instead of the kind of repetitive sort of tasks that have to be done. What can you do with IT process automation? Well, there's quite a bit. In a typical environment, there's incidents that need to be responded to. There's notifications and escalations. That can be IT process automation with an escalation hierarchy. Troubleshooting, event management, problem management, change management, and configuration management. All those kinds of things can all be handled by IT process automation. This manifests itself most typically in server maintenance, system maintenance, database maintenance, and backup and recovery issues. And there are plenty of other areas where IT process automation can have a positive impact as well in your cloud management environments, provisioning users and services, compliance issues, if you have to be Sarbanes-Oxley compliant or HIPAA compliant, and just problem remediation in general. We like to say you should start with the 80-20 rule when thinking about process automation. Look at the issues, the 20% of the issues that cause you 80% of your headaches, and consider automating those first. How do you go about starting to plan for IT process automation? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand your processes. This is kind of one of the fundamental of being an ITIL compliant organization. You have to document your processes, and if you've already started that, then you're well on your way to being able to take the next step, which is to automate those processes. So know what your processes are, what it is that you have to do to maintain your environment, and then decide which of those processes you want to automate. And we have some recommendations on that we'll get into in a little bit. And then once you've made those decisions, you need to define your KPIs for success. We define as a success after having deployed IT process automation for those processes. And you define those first off by defining what your baseline metrics are for success, to judge the success by how many hours of labor you've saved, or number of processes that you've automated, or some other metric, something that every organization has to determine individually. And we also, by the way, on our website, we have a tool that helps you calculate some of that I'll be getting into in a little bit. Looking at IT process automation tools, here are the 7 questions to ask in your evaluation. What integration points with a particular tool? Does it integrate with my ITSM tool, ServiceNow, BMC, Tivoli? Can it integrate with my network monitoring system from SolarWinds or Nagios? What are the integration points that are provided? That's kind of a critical one to ask. Involved in deploying the system? What labor intensive is it? What kind of a skill set is required? Once all that's done, once it's integrated and deployed, how much out-of-the-box functionality is there? Does everything have to be built from scratch? Or there's some templates provided, some of the most common problems? Does the tool provide the ability to have human intervention? Meaning, is the workflow always on autopilot? Or can you pause the workflow and accept a human decision on some decision point? So being able to pause the workflow and human intervention is a critical factor. What kind of scheduling capabilities to have that bring you into compliance with any kind of regulatory issues? Again, Sarbanes-Oxley, HIPAA, and things of that nature. As I mentioned, there's a process for calculating ROI, and the return on investment for implementing IT process automation is determined on 2 levels. The macro level, which of course is the total ROI for IT process automation, and the micro level, which is determining ROI for every individual process you automate. And of course, what are the tools and effort costing you to do this integration and to implement it? and what kind of automated workflows can you gather to remediate the problems that you're trying to solve. On our website, if you go to the download section, you'll find, if you navigate your way down, that there is a ROI calculator ebook we provide that guides you step by step on how to calculate the ROI from IT process automation with any tool. Many organizations are using scripting with a lot of the problems right now that automation handles a lot better. About scalability with scripting. Can you really automate all of your tasks just with scripts? And what happens when things start getting complicated or crossing into other domains? The kind of the core fundamental question here is, do you have to be a high-level developer to do scripts, or can somebody with lower skills be utilized for implementing automation to do the same things? And this is, kind of a fundamental question needs to ask. How complicated do you want the scripts to be? To the point where maybe only one or two people can understand them, or would it be better to have an automated tool that is more intuitive, much easier to understand, and kind of democratizes the ability to have problems remediated without having to go to a high-level, highly skilled, and expensive person? Kind of in the form of, what kind of control do you have, what kind of documentation do you get, and the ability to do auditing and reports also, all superior with automation versus scripting, and that's confirmed by Google as well, by the way. What tasks should you automate? Well, the organization will have its own unique tasks it would like to automate. In our experience, typically things that involve incident escalation, those tend to be the most popular tasks, followed very closely by password resets, locking accounts, like freeing up server disk space when a server drops below 10% or some other threshold of disk space, restarting services like IIS, and also very popular, the automation of VMware tasks like provisioning a new virtual machine and that nature. These are typically among the top 5 most popular tasks that we run into that people look to automation for. Here's an example of how automation can difference. We had a client that was a large banking group, lots of branches, lots of servers, and hundreds of mission-critical apps. They were maintaining this infrastructure annually, and it was chewing up a lot of time, a lot of resources. And when things happen, critical events during off hours and weekends and things of that nature, the response was really slow. With automation, a lot of those processes were integrated with various IT systems that were in place, and the need for the human intervention went away. The slow response times went away, and so the manual work was eliminated, 430 hours per month, and they saw their response time to critical system failures drop to seconds, and a huge savings, and made them a much more efficient organization. The ingredients for success can be summarized in 4 kind of little bullet points. Start small. Don't recommend that you automate your biggest headaches right off the bat. Instead, we suggest going for the quick win, smaller projects, things that will deliver some immediate results. As an example, when I mentioned earlier, freeing up disk space or other file management operations. Those are the kinds of things that you can automate very quickly with like iShare and reap immediate benefit from it. And then upon that, know your processes. So again, as mentioned before, before you get started with any kind of automation, you need to know what your processes are in your organization. And if you've got those documented, then you can begin to prioritize which ones should be automated. Once that in, then you should start thinking big. We started small. We went for the quick wins. Now we want to begin to expand automation incrementally and even across domains and automate things across different, server, storage, and network domains, and begin to become more proactive with our maintenance tasks. And finally, prepare your team. Assign roles and functions and get everybody on board and adapt to a new paradigm to remediate problems so the organization is more responsive and more efficient. With that brief intro, I'm now going to hand over control of the demo to Yaron Levy, our CTO, and he will begin to demonstrate for you what iShare can do.
Some of the things you can do.
Hopefully you can all see the screen and the dashboard, and Yaron, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Guy. Again, my name is Yaron Levy, and I'm managing the professional services here in the States. I will run the demo, and I will focus on the top 5 tasks that was presented in Guy's presentation. Start with a short overview about the product, and then we'll go behind the scenes, see how things are working. Name again is iShare, and what iShare is actually a very lightweight, agentless IT process automation solution. Okay, it's capable of integrating with most of the monitoring and solutions that exist today in the market. So for example, Operation Manager, Microsoft SCOM, SolveViews, ServiceNow, BNC Remedy, Jira. Most of the are very easily to integrate. With two main interfaces. The one that you're seeing now is the dashboard, and then the interface, which is the studio and the place we're going to build the processes. The dashboard that you're currently seeing is fully customized, and its purpose is to save events. Can come from a different type of monitoring solutions. So you can see a few lines over here are that I got from my monitoring solution. So that will pop up in your monitoring or in your ITSM, like tickets, can be put into one place. Very easily to customize this page, so you can decide exactly what you want to view. You can give different type of permission to different users that can log in to the system. Everyone can see his own alerts and can deal with. First demo that I'm gonna run, I'm gonna focus on popular on task, which is incident escalation process. And right now, I'm gonna treat my website, and we're gonna see how my monitoring is gonna send alert to iShare, and we see how iShare handles that alert and remediate the problem. You will also in the process that it involves people in taking decisions, and it involves also ServiceNow, which is a solution that you can use to have. If you have ServiceNow, you will mostly understand what you're going to see right now. And tripping my local website, filling the items. And if you see an incoming alert coming in, the business portal is now can indicate there is a running workflow behind the scene. I can click here on the active logs and see all the steps that the behind the scene is performing for me now. Now, we present an activity or an action that the process is running behind the scene. So it starts with a URL which is basically activity to check and validate if this is a real alert or a false alert. So it tries to connect to the website, and it got that it's unable to connect to the remote server, meaning this is a real problem and not a false alert. With the server, see it's a network issue. We got a success, so we know it's not a network issue. Telnetting port 80, we got checking service. We can stop, collect some information about the server just to record the situation of the server. So we're collecting the CPU, memory, disk space, and at this, when we know this is a problem, opening a ticket in ServiceNow. If we go to my ServiceNow dashboard, and now over here, the description about the problem with the IRSRV business portal that is there, involves people. Basically, what we're trying to do here is to ask some of the IT administrator to take response of the alert. So we started with an email to John Smith for his approval for 30 seconds. Just to do a quick demo. Since John Smith did reply on time to the automatically escalated to the next level, which is myself, Yaron Levy. Now, a number of ways to communicate with people. You can send them email, you can send them a text message, you can call them, or you can instant messaging like I just got right here. Now, here I am, which is an additional tool that is installed on the system administrator desktops, and they collect alerts as well. If I'll open it, you can see that I got all information about the problem and the troubleshooting that I performed over here. In time, if you'll take a look at the dashboard, you'll see that my name is in yellow, which means that the system is currently waiting for my response in order to know how to proceed. Sorry. Either take response of this alert or I can decline. I'm in the movies right now, and I cannot see this ticket. I can click decline, or if a text message, I can reply back decline, and the system will automatically escalate to a higher level or to a colleague, whatever you build in the process itself. I'm going to take response back, and use my name, Green, which is currently the owner of this alert. If this dashboard is open in your network operating center, then everyone knows that Yaron Levy is now in charge of this problem. There is no need to call him to make sure you got the message. Everything is done automatically. Now, continues to communicate with me since I'm the owner, and send text message, which is really a way for me to take a decision and to participate in the workflow itself. So it gives us how I can try to remediate the problem. I can or restart the entire server. I'm going to select reset IIS, and I'm going to set. It's going to my command to reset the IIS. It's going to execute the IIS reset right now. Got success. The ticket in service now. So everything is going to be recorded both in there and in the ticket that I've opened in service now. Do it in a few seconds. I'm going to wait just to give time for the portal to come up. It's going to read and see that the portal is now back online. It's going to read the ticket in service now. In a few seconds, it's going to let me and everyone that was involved in this process that the portal is now back online. Here's the I got. IIS is back online. You can see that disappear on the dashboard. If I look at it itself, you can see here. You can see I was the owner of this ticket. If I go in, it's from the troubleshooting time that I took ownership how it took me to take a decision and what was my decision to solve this problem. And at the end, the portal back online and the ticket is resolved. Now, this demo involves ServiceNow. You can do it with you can do it with BM Remedy. There are a lot of other products if you can integrate with. Same, try to understand how this workflow looks like and how it works. And what we're seeing is the studio. Again, this is a place where you design and build the flows. Going over the first one. If you have questions, we're going to give time at the end of the demo for all of your questions. Now is the iShare Studio Designer page, which is the place that you can draw. That's very similar to Visual. You need to add objects to the main screen and build your process. This is how we just now resolved the IIS issue. The box that you're seeing here is a command, or what we call the activity, that executes some script behind the scene for you and return a result back to the workflow. So the activity was to the website is available, so it gets a parameter like the URL that it needs to connect to and a specific search phrase to make sure the page really loads, or maybe it gets error 401 or 405, whatever, and returns that result back to iShare. Now it and if-else branches. So if the result was a failure, it will go to this branch. If the result was a success, it will go to this branch. We'll get drawing workflow in a few seconds. Focus now on the left side of the designer, which is actually all the activities that are already pre-built for you guys to use. It's divided into categories. There are 500 different activities that you can use. And again, everything is already ready. There's no scripting that you need to know, no code that you need to write, nothing. These are available for you. All you need to do is just select activity and drag and drop it in the workflow itself. So for example, if I want to reset a user password in Active Directory, I'll go to the password reset, gonna drag it anywhere flow, drop it over here, and inside fill up the information like the username or the directory server name and the information that's required to run this activity. So again, drag and drop. We have categories dealing with Active Directory, so work to help you automatically create new users, to terminate users, to password, to unlock account, to build groups, to assign people in groups. Everything that you like to automate with Active Directory can be done with those lists of activities. You need to communicate with people. We are doing it using those activities, so you can call someone, you can send an email, you can send a text message, or sending an instant messaging. Bases. So either MySQL, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL, you can use those activities. Let's drag them. Query. And just type your query inside an activity, put the connection string, and this specific activity knows how to connect to that remote database and bring the information back to iShare. And then, of course, you can query about the results and you want the workflow to proceed. If you do have developers within you guys and you like to develop things, we are giving a few activities to build scripts or code. Let's say if there is an activity that is missing out of this activity, and actually use one of these C# or VB.NET or PowerShell scripts. So you can use PowerShell scripts inside workflow. So from restarting a server or restarting a desktop or putting a server in a standby mode, or remote server CPU, check disk space. Everything can be done using those activities. If your project needs to monitor files, say you need to check if a file exists, or if the file modified date was changed, then you can keep files and folders active. You can also copy folders, delete them, what you need. FTP, if you need process, to collect FTP once in 30 days, or to load files, again, be done using this category. If you're the operation manager, we have lots of activities that you can use to acknowledge alerts, take ownership of alerts, create alerts in the operation manager. Everything can be done through those activities. We also support IBM Bus and Microsoft System Center. If you need to open new alerts or acknowledge alerts, those can be using those categories. If you need to ping a server, telnet, trace route, of those activities. And I'm gonna skip and get on one of the important ones here. Automate with VMware, starting from cloning or provisioning a new virtual machine, or modifying a disk space, or changing of a virtual machine. All can be using the VMware activities. Some of the activities here are to control the host itself. You can put a maintenance mode or remove it from a maintenance mode, or if you need to reboot your ESX server, then use it using these. Filling snapshots and templates in VMware can be done using those. An automated process to clean up some snapshots. You can very easily build it using those activities. 500 activities, as I said, a lot of things that you can build. Actually, think of Azure as a kind of Lego, that you have something to build, and you just drag and drop and build the process itself, and each piece of the Lego until you get a complete workflow. Now, one of the important things here is that Azure is capable of supporting variables or information that can come from the alert itself. So you can build generic workflows. The need to write in server names, or the URL names that you need to check. You can use variables, and those will be filled with real-time information coming from the ticket itself. And HP Operation Manager send alert about disk space. I can part message itself, take out the server name out of it, take out the volume that he needs to check, and run a workflow based on that information on the right remote server. So actually you can have one with these space issues that will work on all of your servers. Important note regarding the way you build workflows. Mainly to build as many as generic workflows. Now, right side, we have what we call workflow templates, which are real workflows that you can start when you download the product. Basically, it's workflows that customers are using and were willing to share with us. So we are putting them here in the product itself. So anyone that downloads the product can access those work and use them. Default for can open a new template. For example, find zombie users in Active Directory. If I do this, it's going to add the entire process for me, and the only thing that I need to do is just fill my server name, credentials, and that's it. This basic workflow can run. No one actually knows how to go to the directory and all haven't logged into the Active Directory for over 120 days. Just and send to the administrator. improve that to automatically delete those users, to suspend them, whatever you decide what you would like to do with those users. You can see it's a very short workflow. Take you no more than 5 minutes to create a one like this. Going to the website where it started to check to validate this is not a false alert. It got a failure, which means this is a server and got success. So it went to this branch. Telling IT, checking that service, collecting CPU, memory, disk space, to record the information, ticketing service now with all the information that was collected, and at this point, we did the communication to the people. So the communicate activity is the place where you can build your entire notification and the station in one activity. So you can hear what I have is that John, by sending him an email, wait to respond for 30 seconds, and if you don't respond to your own, send them iShare instant messaging in minutes for his reply. Now you can between specific server, you can switch to entire group, and no matter how many people are in the group, they will all get the message in the communication way that you've chosen. Sorry. The first it will take sorry. It will only notify all the people in the group that this person is now in charge. There's nothing they need to do. You can also select a duty. One of the features here in iShare is a web-based interface to build different type of it's a roster. So different type of duty groups and assemble in different time of the days, and I can actually go to a specific duty, get the right person on the right time, and communicate directly with him. Now you can combine ways to send someone, so you can actually send someone use all the four methods at the same time. So the person is going to email, a text message, a phone call, and instantly, immediately. And of course, you can select this best option to reply back to the system. The workflow, once there was an ownership about the problem, it updates the ticket with the new assignment. It will communicate with the people, with the person, give him the options. So here are options I gave to the user. You can easily add more options by adding another branch. You can fourth options. There's no limit of how many options you can give a user. The option reset the IS, restart the application pool, or restart the server. Once I've chosen of them, it will execute the right. It will act my selection. Will update the ticket in service now about my selection. It's going to wait a few seconds to let the portal come up. Reach website is now back online, and finally, it will close the ticket and send information and send the acknowledge about the portal now back online to all the users that were involved in this process. So that's all of how to deal with incidents that come from a monitoring system. This one specifically with website issues. You can take it as any action you can think of. The other top tasks that customers are using. So, for example, the password. They have a lot of customers that that works in their company tend to to lock accounts, and people need to release their passwords. So you pick up the phone, call the help desk, and try to get their password reset. Usually that takes time. Those people don't do their work until someone fixes their password. One instructions that we gave here in iShare and it is to set the password by sending a text message to iShare. So, and get text messages from people. A person can put his username inside the text message. iShare will receive that text message, check in that this specific user really exists. If it doesn't, just terminate the workflow without doing anything. If the user exists, it's going to get a mobile number from the Active Directory itself, and then try to check if that mobile number that exists in the Active Directory match the mobile that the text message sent. This is just to confirm. Sorry, this is to confirm that this is the user, and also is sending a text message for other users. Generate a new password. It's going to be in the Active Directory for that specific user. It will set the property to use his password at the next time he logs in. Back the source, which is actually the number that we got the text message from, is a variable over here. So we're going to send him back a new password and a note that the next time he will need to change it back. So actually the process saves a lot of calls to the desk to reset a password, and just can actually reduce in customers like 7% of the calls that they're getting just to reset user password. Machine of a process that combine with ServiceNow, meaning that a user can send a change request as a team in ServiceNow or in another ITSM solution with a requirement to provision a new virtual machine. You can in the ticket how many CPUs you would like to use, what is the amount of memory and this space. You enter the ticket in ServiceNow. The ticket automatically goes to iShare. iShare process, I send the administrator to the system administrator, notifying him that a person named Jaron was asking for a new virtual machine. This is the information that he requested. And if the administrator, if he approves creating this new virtual machine, if he doesn't approve it, it will just close the ticket in ServiceNow and email the it was not approved. If approve the provisioning of the new virtual machine, it's got some of the VMware activities that we have. So the first one is actually to create a new configuration file in the vCenter with all the information about the organization. The license key can be provided here, a default password to log into that new remote server. In the IP address, so you can either use DHCP, you can put a private address, you can also combine a database and take an address from a database and place it automatically over here. Once it creates a configuration spec, it will get the virtual. It will monitor its disk space according to what the user requested, the CPU, and the delete the configuration file because it's not anymore. It's going to turn on the virtual. It's going to wait to make sure that server is coming up, and then it's going to send an email to the user that his virtual machine upgraded. Of course, you can hear the address, the name, you also there whatever information you would like to provide to the user of virtual machines. Two things how you can trigger workflows. So there are there are three main ways to trigger workflows. One of them is action rule. Action rule refers to events that are coming from outside. for example, my demo, we have a condition and a workflow that needs to be triggered. So the condition, for example, in this rule is that if the incident is related to a Yale Business Portal, this is workflow that you need to run. So a place where you can build all those, define all the condition and what workflow should run upon a condition. So that's the first way to trigger. The second way is to schedule workflows. So let's say you go to clean up disk space, so proactive workflow that goes to all of your servers, make the threshold is a specific number that you decide, and if it's a bot, then it can delete files or out files or whatever you decide, and then you can really schedule it here. It's very similar to a Windows scheduler where you can select the days, the times, whatever, and Azure will execute that workflow on that specific time. And that is actually from accessing the data itself. You can prompt a new incident that will trigger new workflows that will run behind the scene. Guys, for any more?
I don't think that we do. I think now we need to set aside a little bit of time for some questions and answers. So if you have questions, please send them to me through the chat box. Also, if you haven't been looking at your chat box, I've been sending everyone some messages saying what one has been demonstrating with the password reset, the VM provisioning, and the templates. And while we're waiting, I just want to point out there have been some questions sent to us already answered, but I thought that they might be worth bringing up for everyone's edification. One of the questions that came in was, can passwords be dynamically passed to activities? And, the answer is yes. We can do that by accessing an external source, such as a vault. Some sort of an external source of a database with your passwords, we can tap into that and pass those dynamically to the activities. Let's see. Another question that had come in that was kind of interesting. Yeah, are activities in the toolbox local? And can they be integrated to other incident management systems? The answer is yes, they are local, they're internal, but we have the ability to integrate to incident management tools to manage external incidents, problems, etc. Let's see. And besides what I'd sent along in the chat box to everyone, the password reset and the VM provisioning that Yaron was demonstrating can also be integrated with the service portal. So if you are looking for a way to shift the burden of these tasks off of your technical personnel and onto your users, use Share to enable that, to facilitate that automation with a self-service portal will accommodate that. And also the templates that Yaron has been demonstrating on the right, the 120 pre-built templates, all sorts of very common tasks that are typical in many data and network operation centers. All 120 of these templates, these are all pre-built, are ready to go out of the box from day one. Configured for your environment with some parameters. So, has any other questions, please send them to us via the chat box. While we're waiting for that, Yaron, I'm going to go ahead and back presentation. Let's see. I think hopefully you guys can see that. So a few things I want to point out. Whoops. hopefully I'll see on my screen that you can try iShare for free. So go to our website and click on download.
I don't see your screen. Share desktop.
Oh, one second. Wait for that. Folks, just bear with me. Do that now.
Yeah.
So let me just back up. Yeah. So website, just go to .com, click download, and you can go ahead and get your own free trial of iShare, functionality that you saw in the demonstration. Run and check it out and see how it works in your environment. Okay, now on the promotional that we sent out for this webinar, you may recall we indicated that all participants will get a free t-shirt and an opportunity to win a free license of iShare. So let me tell you how that's going to work. This is a picture of the t-shirt here in the middle left. Very popular at all the trade shows, I can tell you that. We get a lot of requests for it. So in order to get your IT Automation Superhero t-shirt, here's what we need. Send us an email to personal account, guy@yahoo.com, and you need to include the following. WebEx login name was, so that we can tie back to the person that attended. Of course, a mailing address where you'd like us to send your t-shirt to. And in order to get a chance to win the free license of iShare, we'd like to write a description, process that you would like to automate in your organization. And the wing that we select, hopefully, we'll be able to demonstrate in a future webinar. Your WebEx login name, address, and a description of a process you'd like to automate, send that to guy@yahoo.com, and we'll take it from there. Okay, are there any questions? Let me just check one more time. Fernando says to everyone, iSharing the world. Thank you. Here's a question from Alan. What are the entry points, APIs, into your product? Go ahead and take that.
Yeah. So there are a number of ways you can use. We provide a web service. You can use and send alerts into iShare. We also provide CLI in the Windows version and a Linux version. Just to send alerts to iShare. You can also send an email or a text message to iShare in order to trigger ones.
Okay. And a question from Christian, what is the high-level price model and structure? And I can go ahead and address that. So iShare comes in two editions. There's the Professional Edition and the Enterprise Edition. Both of those editions also come in two flavors of licenses. There's a subscription license, which requires an annual fee, and then there's what we call a perpetual license, which is a one-time fee. In both cases, both Professional and the Enterprise Edition, with either type of license, subscription or perpetual, there are no restrictions on the number of machines that you can run on. So whether you have 100 servers or 1 million servers, it doesn't matter. We can run on all those. And by the way, if it hadn't been mentioned before, the software is agentless. It does not require installation on the machines that it's being run against. It just needs one server, and all the communications is then done through standard internet protocols. So there are no restrictions on the number of machines, and by machines I mean not only servers but routers or any device that you have that can communicate with standard internet protocols. There's no restrictions on the machines. There's no restrictions on the number of users. You can have as many users as you want on the system. I was asked the other day if there's any restriction on the number of networks it can run against, and there are none. No restrictions of any kind on those issues. The only restriction we put on a license is the number of workflows it can run. And so a professional license comes with 10 workflows out of the box, and we find that 10 workflows is typically enough to knock out 50% of the problems, of the biggest problems at most IT shops. If you need more, then you can buy additional 10 workflow packs. If you need a lot more, then we can talk about an enterprise edition, which comes with unlimited workflows. And that answers the question regarding the high-level price model and structure. We are just about at the end of the hour, and so I certainly don't want to keep anybody over. So I think we'll just go ahead and end it right there on that last question. If you have any additional questions, we're happy to answer them. Just send them to the email you see on your screen. Once again, guide@yahoo.com, and we'll be happy to get back to you with an answer promptly. And we thank you all very much for your time, and we hope you learn a little bit more about IT process automation, and in particular, what iShare can do. Thank you, and have a good rest of the day.